This is Pastor Michael-Vincent Crea. I'm responding after an hour and 15 minutes of no connection with the City Court of Ithaca. Judge Richard Wallace presiding in the case of South Meadow Street Properties Incorporated against Pastor Michael-Vincent Crea. The index number LT 048-799-21/IT. I'm calling now the number given to me by Miss Haley Hahn of the clerk's office, having myself kept the lines of communication open and hoping first to connect, but either proceed or postpone, adjourn, and set up a date in court as being done already in the City Court of Ithaca for criminal cases, and having conferred with the Binghamton Court, both civil and criminal cases are open to the public, being heard at the dock in court. So we'll see as I now dial 833-262-7886.
Welcome to the audio conferencing center. Please enter a conference ID followed by pound. If you're the meeting organizer, press star now. You are now joining the meeting. Please wait for the leader to admit you to the meeting. Thank you for... You are now joining the meeting.
Because Judge Wallace, who I am told is presiding, is taking a 5-minute break in the present matter, I am going to pause. I don't know how to pause the video, so I will stop this video and proceed when I hear him back in court.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. It usually takes a minute for people to come back into the courtroom anyway, so we give them a minute to come back into the virtual courtroom. Give me just 1 second here. Negotiations. My compliments to both of you for entertaining settlement negotiations. I will tell you, Ms. King, what Attorney Brennan has heard me say many times in small claims court. The lawyers say this all the time. The hallmark of a settlement in these cases is when both parties walk away equally unhappy. And so it's, everybody has to be ready to give something up in order to have a productive settlement negotiation. But the reason why most cases, the big cases in big courts tend to settle more than get tried is because the lawyers that do these cases know that the outcomes are much less predictable than many people think. There's some fact that they weren't aware of, or some law they weren't aware of, or some application of a fact to the law that they weren't aware of that changes the outcome they were sure would be in their favor. And oftentimes appointed. And because lawyers have seen that happen so many times, that's why 4 out of 5 cases settle out of court. So I invite you both to indulge in these settlement negotiations with an open mind and a spirit of compromise, please do let the court know, let my civil clerk, John Payne, know how you make out, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, and Pastor Crea, are you on the line with us?
Good morning, counsel. Good morning, Judge Wallace. I have a certain couple applications to make when you're ready.
Sure, go ahead.
Are you waiting for Counsel Perenick or myself?
No, you said you had some applications to make, so if they are jurisdictional in nature, please proceed.
Yes, I would like make first. Let me just start with the last thing: is that I make a jury demand on this. But insofar as making the jury demand, I asked for a change of venue. The reason for the change of venue, Your Honor, to be forthright and upfront with full disclosure, I'm waiting from the New York Commission on Judicial Review of receipt of a complaint put against you in our previous appearances. That and that's the fact that Judge Peacock, I have worked with him and served on his campaign. And I think there would be multiple reasons for a conflict of interest in that, not the least of which, when he was dismissed by Cornell Security and told to get to the back of the line when he was entering the event of Bill Gates on October 1st, 2017, I had a 60-day back and forwards with Cornell President Bill Scorton in his behalf, which left a lot of unfinished business, let's say. I also proceed under a protest at this moment, and you would be familiar with this, having learned that City Court of Ithaca at present is conducting face-to-face criminal cases. The fact that this technology, while under previous circumstances due to COVID protocols, if in fact City Court of Ithaca is having face-to-face, if in fact, as I've checked with our jurisdictions, regional jurisdictions council down in Binghamton, that they're having both civil and criminal cases open to the public and face-to-face, that under Burton v. Wilmington Parking Authority, which you're familiar, I was successful with the Cornell case that you presided over. I would like to assert that, but as well as have the proper time to proceed with the respect of giving counsel not only this in printed form, not only filing with the court in printed form, but acknowledge the fact, or counsel can acknowledge the fact, that he was in touch with me actually a year ago. And a year ago in April, when I had submitted a request for his own representation, only to be told that he had a conflict of interest, and part of it was because he represented Miss Ryan, the owner of the property, and I have advocated for the owner to receive her money from last year. And who should be on the respondents line ought to be St. John's Community Services, which I was under their jurisdiction, or at least auspices, at Econo Lodge. On April 12th of last year, 2020, they transferred me down to Meadow Court Inn. They still had, they're still receiving, as far as I know, state money for their contracted work, albeit AWOL. and then also with the representatives of Tompkins County Department of Social Services, that they began the process. They didn't finish it. This was brought to the attention and emailed both to owner Miss Ryan and all the pertinent members. And I've had two regional New York State Attorney General's offices, both Binghamton and New York City, directly tell me that the staff of our Tompkins County Department of Social Services needs to be arrested. And they told me to call the police. And I said, I don't arrest people, I affirm people. And that's my affirmation today for a trial demand, a change of venue, and to have the time to either secure full representation and also a reply that will challenge who's the actual respondents in the instant matter.
So, Pastor Crea, I believe you were sent along with the eviction petition, a list of legal service providers available to you. Is that correct?
That won't be possible, Your Honor, because first of all, there is no one here in Tompkins County that has the confidence, having lost two of my homes on no fault of my own, but through failure, lack of due diligence by legal aid of Western New York, even calling from Rome when we were in Rome, awaiting to come back and address the wrongful eviction, Your Honor. And I'm sorry to say, you gave standing, and this is part of what you will learn through the commission. You gave standing to Dr. Harry Merryman, who is nothing but a property pimp, who had never properly registered the 713 Court Street property. He failed 4 federal inspections. You gave him standing to evict me, which is against law. He did not follow. He had not any cause for a Section 8. It was retaliatory. It was illegal. And my entire life's work was put into the Ithaca dump. There is no legal, competent counsel in this county that I have tried to find that knows persons living with disabilities law, human rights law, tenants law under Section 8, and I might add, and I don't want to get into any other particulars, working service dog law. And so I am. I will ask for an adjournment on this.
You've already done that, Pastor. Let's try my question. What's your plan to get a lawyer?
Go through Binghamton or Rochester that have separate councils for people living with disabilities. And I would like to see, as was done in a case where I was successful under the late, great New York Judge Arthur Schack. And I defeated Mayor Rudolph Giuliani and NYPD after 4 years. And Judge Michael Brennan, the only censored judge in the history of the commission at that time, 26 years, I won the case in 29th of June, 2001, 20 years ago this past month. And he came in.
How long do you think it will take you to find a lawyer?
I would ask at this point, September 1st, because of vacations and otherwise having to gather documents that were destroyed. I would also ask counsel.
Yes, Judge. Attorney Brennan, any response?
Yeah, Judge, the statute mandates a 2-week adjournment when one requests it.
I'm asking for reasonable accommodation, Your Honor.
Judge, I understand potentially putting it out past September 1st. On August 31st, the New York State eviction moratorium potentially expires. I don't know if it's going to be extended. I actually think it will be, given the influx of Delta variant cases in New York City. But whatever the court's discretion would be at this point, the statute does mandate that he's entitled to at least a 2-week adjournment. I will defer to the court's discretion in regards to this.
All right, what I'm going to do is...
Your Honor, if I may please respond.
You may.
To Mr. Perennick's, excuse me, I have the difficulty with the dysphagia, the swallowing and the breathing. I would respond, please, for the reasonable accommodation, especially due to the fact that the internet service, I am not at Meadow Court Inn at this time, because one only need walk across the room, not even across the room, 3 feet into the room, or I can open up 5 pages as I used to do or like to do, and the internet goes off. That being said, along with the reasonable accommodation of Americans living with disabilities law, and the fact that the counsel is right that the moratorium will end on August 31st, I do proceed as a poor person, which judges already have precedent of granting. I don't have the case. I think it's Gresham. I'm not sure. I don't recall offhand to do so. However, I will not be signing any more taxpayer money to paying, as I've asked and worked with, and I've already contacted the Rochester Diocese. Why are taxpayers paying the Pope's child support for deadbeat bishops and criminal cardinals retiring royally? And I'm living with a service dog in poverty, impoverished, at $239.50 a week. That's $958 a month. That's less than $12,000 a year, and subject to all the scorn, all of the loss and suffering, which I'm only explaining, not complaining, and I'm seeking liberty, not sympathy. And I'm good to go, counsel, without a show. But in the end, I'm not signing off on any taxpayer paying this. I will proceed also simultaneously in getting counsel is holding, and maybe out of court, finally getting the U.S. Catholic bishops to be paying the bills to Miss Ryan, who knows I actually went with my service dog all the way to Kennedy Airport. We had worked 2 months with Calissa Gingrich, our former ambassador to the Vatican. After all of what happened in the last case went to the Ithaca dump, I continued, having lost everything, in 2 months provided our Vatican ambassador with the documents. And June 11th of last year, I was turned back at the gate at Kennedy from boarding a Swiss flight, which we had tickets to, and hopefully we're going to be meeting the Pope, because of COVID restrictions being changed, and instead of Americans having no need for any visa, because we'd be on the ground for 45 minutes in Zurich changing planes, we were denied. And so enough is enough all around.
So I understand, Pastor. Let me schedule a matter for a settlement conference. That's the process being employed now in all landlord-tenant cases for the benefit of the parties concerned. Let me ask my clerk for our conference dates. Thursday, August 19th, and Friday, August 20th are the 2 conference dates that we presently have, which of course would end up adjourning any trial until after September 1st. And we give Pastor Crea time to find counsel. Attorney Perennick, any conflicts for you, or Pastor Crea, any conflicts for you on either of those 2 dates?
Judge, those were August 19th and August 26th.
August 19th and August 20th, 2 days in a row, Thursday and Friday.
All right. Okay, Judge. So are we talking about 9 a.m., Judge, again?
I believe so. It's 9:30.
9:30? Yeah, I have a dentist appointment at 10, but I can get that moved, so I can do 9:30. That's fine.
Your Honor.
I have that on Friday, the 20th. Friday the 20th, okay. Pastor Crea, Friday the 20th at 9:30, August 20th, do you have any conflict on that date?
Your Honor, I have to revisit my first point. I'm awaiting a receipt of a complaint I filed against you, and I would ask at this point to directly ask you to recuse yourself.
Yeah, I am going to grant that application. I'm going to turn the file over to Judge Peacock. In the event that Judge Peacock feels he has to recuse himself, Attorney Perrine can make that application at that time. However, the August 20th date is not before me. It's handled by one of the clerks out of Binghamton, and it's designed to promote settlement and make sure that tenants have access to all of the assistance that is being provided at this time. Do you have any conflict, Pastor, on Friday, August 20th at 9:30?
The only conflict that I would see is what you are already enduring, and other people who I've heard express on the open session that we've had, that this conference, and I would ask for the rest of the city to have equal treatment, equal justice under law, to have in-court proceedings here on out. I do not see the necessity. I see it's a deprivation of our rights, not having face-to-face in court. So the 20th is fine. Having a representative of the Binghamton jurisdiction is fine. However, I ask, no matter what is decided for the general public, but I'd be very much chagrined if it's not applied across the board for every person with a appearance in the dock, that it'd be face-to-face with the counsel and whomever else will be present.
It's my understanding that court proceedings are going to resume in person as of August 1st. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear that, Pastor Crea. With respect to conferences, this one included, I'm not sure whether they'll be virtual or in person, but your scheduling notice that you will receive for Friday, August 20th at 9:30 will advise you of that information. So, the court hereby schedules a conference for Friday, August 20th at 9:30 between the parties. Scheduling notice to be sent to the parties. I hereby recuse myself, and I'm turning the matter over to my co-judge, Judge Peacock. We're adjourned.
I appreciate
it. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. Well, that took a lot of energy. I think what was done, and I'm happy to hear the recusal out of his own mouth of Judge Wallace, and we'll proceed on the matter and hold those responsible for whatever is owed for my lodging there in Meadow Court Inn. C'est la vie. Thanks be to God. And menace tuus commendo spiritum meum.